In this lesson, we're going to be talking about a program called Metasploit. Metasploit is a penetration testing framework or an exploit framework that makes the job of penetration testers much easier. And the way it does that is it provides a quick and easy way of writing your own exploits against systems by bundling a number of payloads and quick mechanisms to get some exploits written pretty quickly and easily. Now, the other thing that Metasploit does is it bundles a lot of already written exploits for a lot of different software and operating systems, and so it gives you the ability to make use of the work of other people with these exploits, so you're not starting from scratch every time. So Metasploit was actually written by a guy by the name of H.D. Moore, written with the idea of being a framework that you could use to do a job more easily. At some point in the last several years, it was purchased by a company by the name of Rapid7, and H.D. Moore now works for Rapid7. It was originally written as a command line tool. Eventually, they added a GUI to it, and now with Rapid7's involvement, they actually have this web interface. So the very first thing that I would do, create a project, and I'm going to call it home. And here it's already got a network range populated, so I'm going to make use of that. And I'm going to initially just do a scan. I'll do a couple of addresses here just for fun. So I'm going to launch a scan. And it's really going to go off and do the same thing that Nmap does. It's going to do some port scanning to see what it can find about the operating systems as well as the system software that is running on those different systems. If you can see the Nmap command here, it's actually going through a really fast probe. So we're running through this as well as some other scans that Metasploit has access to. You can see it's all done now. We can take a look at the hosts that we've got. And if I click on here, we can see what vulnerabilities there may be. So we've got the list of services here. And if I go to the list of vulnerabilities, we actually don't have any vulnerabilities. So I can go back to another host, and I've got my DSL router. So there's no vulnerabilities associated with this, but I've got operating system and the operating system flavor and my Ethernet address. Certainly you can use this to do some discovery of your systems, and if there were vulnerabilities, this would give you an easy way to run the exploits on there. There's a lot of different ways to look at the data that I've got. You can see there were 13 services that were found, and I can go back to my hosts. I didn't bother scanning the whole network. I just wanted to give you a sense of what Metasploit is capable of doing. And you can see here that once it's done the scan, it sort of figures out what it may be able to do with the information that it's found. And in this case, the two systems that I had it scan actually don't have any vulnerabilities that Metasploit knows about. This is not a vulnerability assessment tool along the lines of Nessus or Nexpose, and you can see references here to Nexpose. Metasploit integrates with Nexpose, and Nexpose will do the vulnerability assessment and then feed the data back to Metasploit to provide details about the types of services that you may be able to exploit. So this is really looking for some vulnerability data from a vulnerability scanner. Now, the other thing you can do from this Metasploit is you can go to the modules and take a look at the different types of exploits that are available. This is a starting point for Metasploit. In subsequent lessons, we're going to take a look at the command line interface for Metasploit and see how that works and how that's different from this web interface.